press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
ಇದು ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. Hello, good morning students. Now we are discussing about the split 2 portion of second PUC, and now we are covering electric current, Kirchhoff's laws, and solid state electronics. Now to start with, the internal resistance of 21 volt cell which gives 2.0 ampere through a resistance of 10 ohm is. Right. Now, so we have given that, so a cell of EMF E is equal to 21 volt. So when connected to an external resistance of 10 ohm, it gives a current of 2 ampere. We need to find internal resistance of the cell. Say this is the resistance R connected to a cell of EMF E, and internal resistance R, the current is I. Now we know that the current through the circuit I is equal to, right, E by R plus R, or R plus R is equal to E by I, that is equal to, right, 21 by 2, that is equal to 10.5 ohm. So R is equal to 10.5 minus R, that is 10.5 minus 10, or R is equal to 0.5 ohm. So the answer is 0.5 ohm. Now the next question, identify the gate in the following diagram. Right. See the given figure here. We have given that so inputs, so A is high and B is high, right? So this is right, and output X is also high, right? Therefore the given gate is an AND gate, right? So both inputs are high and output high, so this is an AND gate. Now we are given a logic gate. The input of the logic gate is shown in figure. So in figure we have right, in figure we have given that one. This is a NAND gate. Now this will become right, the net will become a NOT gate. So input right are AB, therefore output of this x dash right is equal to A dot B inverse, right. Therefore the output of, this is the first gate, this is the second gate, output of first gate is equal to right x dash is equal to right A dot bar, right. This is equal to the input of second gate. Therefore output of right second gate, so x is equal to x dash bar, that is equal to right A B dot right double bar, right, that is equal to A dot B. So therefore the output of the logic gate is A dot B. Right. Now in the next question, in the circuit shown, right. So in the circuit shown we have given in between AB there is an unknown resistance R, and A is connected in this with right 4 ohm, and it is connected to a battery and a 2 ohm. This is P, this is 1 ampere, right. This is the circuit given. We need to find the value of R. Now in this question we have given this one circuit. So since this end and this end are at negative potential, right, this can be written as right, this is 4 ohm, this is battery, right, the battery of right 12 volt, this is battery of 12 volt, and here we are having a resistance of 2 ohm and a resistance of 4. The current flowing through the circuit. Now so total resistance of the circuit, total resistance of the circuit, right, is equal to, this is R plus 4 plus 2 ohm, that is equal to R plus 6 ohm. Now current in circuit, so I is equal to, this is V by total resistance, that is R plus 6, or R plus 6 is equal to V by I, that is the 12 by right, So current I is equal to 1 ampere, right? This is 1. So that is equal to 12 ohm. So R is equal to 12 minus 6 is equal to 6 ohm. Therefore, the unknown resistance R is equal to 6 ohm. Now, the next question is, a Zener diode is specified as having a breakdown voltage of a 9.1 volt with the maximum power dissipation of a 364 millivolt. What is the maximum current the diode can handle? Right? Options ಇದೆ 40 milliampere, 50 milliampere, 60 milliampere and 45 milliampere. Now, in this question, so we have given a Zener diode, right? So it works on a particular reverse voltage and it is mainly used as a voltage stabilizer, right? Now the reverse voltage of Zener diode is 9.1 volt and it can handle a maximum power of, right, P is equal to 364 into 10 power minus 3 watt. So the maximum power it can handle. So now we need to find, so maximum, right, permissible current or maximum possible current I is equal to what? Now we have the power P of an electric circuit or electronic circuit, right? This is equal to, right, V into I, or I is equal to P by V. Therefore, the maximum current in Zener diode IZ is equal to, that is the power across Zener diode but reverse voltage across Zener diode, that is equal to 364 into 10 power minus 3. So divided by, right, this is 9.1. Now 9 4s are 366, right? This 0.1, right, 4s, right? Therefore, it is 40 into 10 power minus 3 ampere, or the current is equal to 40 milliampere. Now, the next question, in reverse biased diode, when the applied voltage changes by 1 volt, the current is found to be changes by 0.5 microampere. The reverse resistance of the diode is. Right. Now, we have given a semiconductor diode in reverse bias condition. Now, in a reverse bias voltage, then the change in reverse voltage. So, delta V is equal to 1 volt. That means when the reverse voltage changes by 1 volt, the change in current. So, delta I is equal to 0.5 microampere, that is 0.5 into 10 power minus 6 ampere. Right. Now, the reverse bias resistance. Right. So, R is equal to, by definition, we have resistance is equal to V by I, potential difference across the circuit element divided by current flowing through. So, here this is equal to change in voltage by change in current, that is equal to change in voltage 1 volt divided by 0.5 into 10 raised to the power of 6 ampere. So, the reverse voltage is equal to, so 1 by 0.5, 1 by 1 over 2, that is 2, this is minus 6, 2 into 10 power minus 6 ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ 6 ohm. So, the answer for this question is 2 into 10 raised to the power of 6 ohm. Now, the next question, in an n-type semiconductor, which of the following statement is true? One option, electrons are majority charge carriers and pentavalent is a dopant. 2, holes are the majority charge carriers and pentavalent is the dopant. 3, holes are majority charge carriers and trivalent is the dopant. Fourth one, electrons are majority charge carriers and trivalent is dopant. Now, so we have given, right? So we have given n type semiconductor. So, we know that in a pure semiconductor, right, number of holes is equal to number of electrons. It is called a intrinsic semiconductor, right? So, in impure or right extrinsic semiconductor, number of holes is not equal to number of electrons, right? So, in intrinsic semiconductor, or impure semiconductor or extrinsic semiconductor can be obtained by doping a suitable impurity atom. So when we dope pure semiconductor with a trivalent impurity, it accepts one electron and number of holes exceeds electrons, right? And it becomes p-type semiconductor, p-type, right? With the holes are the majority charge carriers and electrons are the majority. So in n-type semiconductor, in n-type semiconductor, so it is doped with pentavalent impurity. So the impurity atoms like aluminum, right, having right, not aluminum, right, some boron, cesium, etc. Right, pentavalent having so 5 valence electrons. Right. So among the 5 valence electron, 4 electrons form covalent bond with the germanium atoms, neighboring germanium atom, and 1 electron is left, right? So pentavalent is a donor atom. So therefore here electrons are majority charge carriers and holes are minority charge carriers. So therefore, so the answer is electrons are the majority charge carriers and the impurity atom right doped or dopant is a pentavalent impurity, right? So the answer is electrons are majority charge carriers and right the pentavalent impurity is the dopant. Now, the next question, the forbidden energy gap in germanium crystal is 0.72 eV given Hc is equal to 12,400 eV angstrom unit. The maximum wavelength of radiation that will generate electron hole pair is. So 17,222 volt, 1700 angstrom unit, right, 1722 angstrom unit, right, 172.2 angstrom unit. Now so 1,72,220 angstrom unit. These are all the given options. Now we have given energy gap of germanium crystal, right, semiconductor crystal, right? GE is equal to 0.72 electron volt, right? The maximum wavelength that can generate, right, electron hole pair, that is the wavelength corresponding to the energy, right, incident on the germanium crystal, so that it can break the covalent bonding and produce a electron hole in pair, right? So lambda is equal to what? And also we have given, so Hc is equal to 12,400 eV angstrom unit. Now this value is given because of we have Hc is equal to, right, this is 6.63 into 10 power minus 34 joule second into 3 into 10 raised to the power of 8, right? This is the value of Hc. So that divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to the power of minus 19. So that becomes it is equal to EV, right, into we have the 10 raised to the power of, right, this is equal to, we will get 1200 12,400 EV, right, into 10 power minus 10 meter, right, that is equal to angstrom unit. In any case, generally we can, in terms of when we calculate the energy of right, radiation, electromagnetic radiation, right, E is equal to h nu or E is equal to hc by lambda. But in case of lambda, straight away we can take this value, right? Now, so we have the energy gap is equal to, right, hc by lambda. This is the energy of incident radiation, or lambda is equal to hc by Eg, that is energy gap. So we have hc is equal to 12,400 angstrom unit eV, that divided by energy gap in eV, right? Now that comes out to be 0.72 eV. EV get cancel. So when we divide this one, we will get the answer. It is 17,000, right, 222 angstrom unit. So therefore the answer is, it is 17,222 angstrom unit. It is the wavelength that can maximum wavelength that can eject the, that can produce a electron hole pair. Now the next question, to draw maximum current from the combination of cells, how should be the cells be grouped, right? Now to get, now to get the maximum value of current in a grouping of cells, so condition number 1 it is, right, so the grouping should be parallel combination of cells. Just by parallel combination of cells we cannot get the maximum value of current. And the second important current is, right, now effective internal resistance is equal to, right, external resistance. That is, if n cells are connected in series, then the effective resistance in each row is equal to, right, n into r. When m such rows are connected in parallel, so the effective resistance is equal to n r by m. So where n is number of cells in series, right? So m is a number of such rows in parallel. So that should be equal to external resistance. So if I take simply the parallel combination of cell and this condition is not satisfied, then we won't get the maximum value of current. Therefore, the right answer is depends upon the relative values of internal and external resistances, right? So it depends upon the relative values of internal and external resistance. Internal and external resistance. Right. Now, the next question is a filament bulb 500 watt 100 volt to be used in 230 volt main supply. When resistance R is connected in series, it works perfectly and the bulb consumes 500 watt. The value of R is. Right. Now, we have given, right, ratings of bulb. So, the operating voltage, output power. So, it is a power P is equal to 500 watt. So, at an operating voltage VO, so is equal to 100 volt. That means it can give 500 watt of power when applied voltage across it is 100 volt. Suppose if the applied voltage is less than this volt, then the power of the bulb is less, right? And if the applied voltage exceeds the rating voltage, say 100 volt, then the bulb may fuse or it may burn, right? So here now we have given applied voltage, right? We take VA is equal to 230 volt. When we apply 230 volt to the bulb will burn, it will not glow. Therefore, what has to be done, right, is suppose if we have a bulb with the right radius of the resistance of the bulb RV, 230 volt has to be connected, right? But it cannot withstand that 230 volt, right? Therefore, we have to divide this 230 volt so that out of 230 volt, 100 volt will appear across the bulb so that it can glow to the maximum power 500 watt, right? Therefore, the remaining voltage has to be shared by, right, some other component, right? So we know that in series combination of resistors, potential difference divides, current remains the same. But in parallel combination of resistor, potential difference remains the same, but the current divides. Therefore, we need to connect a resistance R, right? So that here the voltage across the bulb is VB, and here voltage across the bulb resistor is VR, so that VA is equal to VB plus VR, right? That is equal to 230 volt. So applied voltage is 230 volt, and now we need to find a resistance of the bulb. Now we have power of the bulb, right, is equal to, right, V square by R, right. That means the resistance of the bulb, right, where V is P is power, V is operating voltage, right, and R is resistance. R is equal to V naught square by P, that is equal to 100 into 100 divided by 500. So this get cancel, right, to 100 by 5, that is equal to 20 ohm. And just like how the maximum voltage that can be applied to the bulb without fusing it, there is a maximum current. So we have power P is equal to V into I, right? Therefore, so current through bulb or in the entire circuit, I is equal to P by V, that is equal to 500 by, that is V naught, by 100, that is equal to 5 ampere, right, 5 ampere. So maximum current that is permissible right through the bulb, so I is equal to 5 ampere. Actually what we need to find is what is the resistance to be connected in series. Now we have the current flowing through the circuit, right, involving bulb and a series resistor. So I is equal to applied voltage by total resistance, right? Total resistance R is equal to RB plus R, because the two resistors are connected in series. So this is RB plus R. So that implies, so RB, that is 20 plus R is equal to VA by I. So 20 plus R is equal to VA, applied voltage, 230 by 5. So that is equal to 46 ohm. That means R is equal to, right, 46 minus 20, that is equal to 26 ohm. So therefore series resistor has to be connected is equal to 26 ohm. So the answer is 26 ohm. Now the next question, the electric current through a wire depends upon time as I is equal to 3t square plus 2t plus 5. The charge flowing through the cross section of the wire at t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 2 second is. Options are given 20 coulomb, 5 coulomb, 22 coulomb and 18 coulomb. Now, here we have given the current through wire, right. So, current through wire is given by I is equal to 3t square plus 2t plus 5. That means the current is not a steady current. So, it is a varying current, it varies with respect to time. So, for steady current, right, that does not, right, change in magnitude with respect to time, that is the direct current. Steady current I is equal to, we have Q by T, right, but it is a varying current. We need to find the charge flowing through the bulb. Q is equal to what? From, so T1 is equal to 0 second to T2 is equal to 2 second, say, right. Now, for, right, varying current, for varying current, right, we have I is equal to dq by dt, where dq is the change in charge and dt is time taken. Therefore, so q is equal to, right, or here we will take that dq is equal to I into dt, or q is equal to, right, integral from T1 to T2 I into dt, that is equal to integral from T1 is equal to 0 to 2 second. So, I, right, given 3t square plus 2t plus 5 into dt. Therefore, q is equal to, right, so integrating this one, this is 3, this integrating t square, t cube by 3, therefore we left with the t cube, 3 get cancelled. This is on integrating 2t square by 2, so 2 get cancelled, right. So this is equal to 5t. So from 0 to 2, so that is equal to, right, straight away upper limit, so 2 cube plus 2 square plus 5 into, right, 2 minus, we will take it as lower limit 0. This is 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 10, or Q is equal to 22 coulomb. Alright, so the charge flowing through the wire between 0 second and 2 second is 22 coulomb, and that is the answer. Now, we have the next question. The voltage V and current I graphs, right, for a conductor at two temperatures T1 and T2 are as shown in the figure. The relation between T1 and T2. So, voltage and current against curve is given. Now, we need to find, right, a graph is given, we need to find. So, T1 is equal to 1 by T2, or T1 is less than T2, T1 is greater than T2, right? T1 is equal to T2. Now we have given, so a graph of, right, potential difference against current, right, for a conductor or a resistor, right? So the graph is like this. In fact, see in the graph, the current is taken along, right, y axis, voltage is taken along x axis, right, and here we are obtained two, right, curves, straight line curves passing through the origin, right. This is a curve obtained at temperature T2, and this is the curve obtained at temperature T1. We need to find relation between T1 and T2. So we know that, right. So resistance of the wire of any conductor R is equal to V by I. But here the slope of the curve, that is representing di by dv. So here slope is equal to, so di by dv, that is equal to 1 by r, right. Therefore we have right, r is equal to, right, di by dv, that is equal to 1 by slope, right. Now this is theta 1 and this is theta 2. We have slope is equal to tan theta. So here we have theta 1 is less than theta 2, right. Therefore we have slope for temperature T2 is less than slope for temperature T1. That implies that, right, as R is inversely proportional to slope, that means the resistance R2 at T2 is greater than resistance R1 at temperature T1. Now as we have resistance is directly proportional to temperature, resistance of a metallic conductor increases with increase in temperature. So that implies that the higher resistance means higher temperature. So R2 is greater than, T2 is greater than T1, or the answer is T1 is less than T2. See here, don't get confused. Just we take this as statement as generally it is a graph of potential against, right, potential difference against current, and we will see that suppose if the graph is plotted, right, by taking potential difference across along y axis and current along x axis, then the slope is equal to r, right, that is equal to dv by di, right. Then if this same graph, if I and V are replaced, then this T1 is greater than T2, but for the given graph, the answer is T1 is less than T2. Now we have given the next question. Resistivity of a conductor in which a current density of 2.5 ampere meter square is found to exist when an electric field of a 15 volt per meter is applied to it, right? Then options are given: 7 ohm meter, 6 ohm meter, 8 ohm meter and 4 ohm meter. Right. Now we have given, right, the current density, right, of a wire, current density of a wire, that means the current density of current flowing through the given wire J is equal to 2.5 ampere per meter square. This is ampere per meter square, right, I by A. Now this given the current density is 2.5 amp per meter square when electric field applied is 1.5 volt per meter. We need to find the resistivity of the wire. Rho is equal to 1. And we have resistance of a conductor R is equal to rho into L by A, where rho is constant for a given conductor called resistivity, L is length of the wire and A is area of cross section. Or rho is equal to, right, so R into A by L. Or we can write rho is equal to, if V is the applied potential difference and I is the current, so R is equal to V by I, right. This is because we have, right, I is equal to VR, right. So R is equal to V by I, right. So this is R we have taken into A by L, that is equal to, this can be written as V by L over I by A. So V by L is equal to E, see, volt per meter electric field, and I by A is equal to J, right. So that rho is equal to E by J. So E is equal to, this is not 1.5 volt, I think it is 15, sorry, 15 volt per meter. This is 15 divided by 2.5, that is equal to 6 ohm meter. So resistivity of the given wire is 6 ohm meter. Now, in Wheatstone's bridge shown below, in order to balance the bridge, we must have the bridge is given option, right? R1 is equal to 6 ohm, R2 is equal to 15 ohm, R1 is equal to 3 ohm and R2 is equal to 3 ohm. R1 is equal to 3 ohm and R2 is equal to any finite value. And fourth one, R1 is equal to 1.5 ohm, R2 is equal to any finite value, right? Right. Now, so we have given circuit or Wheatstone's network like this. So we have a inner, right, cyclic order 3 ohm, this is R2, right, and 30 ohm, right, and 50 ohm, 30 ohm and 15 ohm. And again we have the outer bridge, right. So it is connected to a battery with we are having A, B, C, D. So this B is connected to this internal one, and again here we are having a resistance, right? There is a conducting path between B and E, so that is equal to 2 ohm. Right. Now our question is, right, in order to balance the bridge, what are the values of right, R1 and R2? So here again we will take this is 10 ohm, this is 30 ohm, and this is right 9 ohm, and this is R1. Right. Now, so this is a cyclic order, right? When we take so outer network, in outer network, this is P, this is Q, this is R, and this is S. So in the cyclic order of Wheatstone's network, P, Q, S, right? P, Q, S and R, not P, Q, R, S, P, Q, S and R. Now, for balancing condition, the balancing condition, so we have P by Q is equal to R by S. That implies 10 by R1 is equal to 30 by 9. So 10 10 get cancelled. So R1 is equal to, right, R1 is equal to 9 by 3, that is equal to 3 ohm. So the value of R1 is equal to 3 ohm. Now we need to find R2, right? Since outer network is balanced. ಔಟರ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡಿ ಆರ್ ಎಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. The potential at D is equal to B is equal to potential at D. So it therefore no current flows between, right, B and D. So when no current flows between B and D, so no current flows here. So whatever may be the finite value of R2, right, the bridge is still balanced, whatever may be the value of R2, right. Therefore, so R2 can have any finite value. Therefore, the answer is R1 is equal to 3 ohm and R2 is equal to any finite value. This is the answer. Now, the next question, if in the circuit figure the internal resistance of the battery is 1.5 ohm and Vp and Vq are potentials at P and Q respectively, what is the potential difference between the points P and Q? Now, so we have given a circuit. There are all the 2 points A, B, and again in between 2 points P, Q. This is a 3 ohm, 2 ohm, and this is a 2 ohm and 3 ohm. Now it is connected to a battery. So a battery of right 20 volt and 1.5 ohm. This is 20 volt and internal resistance 1.5 ohm. So if Vp is the potential at point P and Vq is the potential at point Q, then we need to find Vp minus Vq is equal to what? Now here these two resistances are right in series, therefore resistance of the branch RAPB is equal to 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 ohm effective resistance. Now again 2 ohm and 3 ohm are in series, that is RAQB is equal to 2 plus 5, that is equal to 5. Right. Now the current in the circuit I is equal to E by, so these two are in parallel, so RP is equal to, right, so 5 into 5 by 5 plus 5, right? It is equal to, right, 2.5 ohm, 25 by 10. So this is equal to Rp plus R, that is equal to 20 by, right, 2.5, right, plus 1.5, that is 1.5. That is current is equal to 20 by, right, 4, or current in the circuit I is equal to 5 ampere. So the net current flowing in the circuit I is equal to 5 ampere. Since the two branches APB and AQB have same resistance, current is divided equally. So here, so I1, this is I2. So now we have, right, I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I by 2 is equal to 2.5, right, ampere, right. Now, so we have potential difference between, right, Vp and Va. Vp minus Va, right, that is equal to, right, we have potential difference between any 2 points is equal to I into R, where I is the current in this branch and R is the resistance. Therefore, the current, this is here, it is I1 into resistance 3, right. What is the I1? So 2.5 into 3, that is equal to 7.5 volt. So this is 7.5 volt, it comes out. Now VQ minus VA, potential difference between these 2 points, because A is common to both. This is I2 into 2, that is again 2.5 into 2, that is equal to 5 volt. So this Q is at a potential of 5 volt, right. Therefore, we have so Vp minus Vq, straight away I am taking, right, Vp minus Ea minus of Vq minus Va, that is 7.5 minus 5 is equal to 2.5 volt, right. Therefore, Vp minus Vq is equal to 2.5 volt. Now, the next question, two bulbs when connected in series, when connected in parallel to a source take 60 watt each. The total power consumed when they are connected in parallel to take 60 watt, right. The total power consumed when they are connected in series with the same source is, right, when, right, bulbs are in parallel. When the bulbs are in parallel, now we have that power P1 is equal to P2 is equal to 60 watt each. P1 is equal to P2 is equal to 60 watt each. So when connected in series, now we need to find total power, right. P in series is equal to what? So we know that the power P is equal to V square by R. When, right, they are connected in parallel, the bulb glows with maximum power, right, of the bulb. But when connected in series, the power get reduced, right, because the voltage remains the same in parallel combination. But in series combination, the voltage gets divided. Therefore, the total power in series combination is equal to P1 into P2 by P1 plus P2. Therefore, that is 60 into 60 divided by 60 plus 60, that is equal to 30 watt. So, the total power in series is equal to 30 watt. Total power in series is equal to 30 watt. Is it clear? Right. So, therefore, in household connections, the bulbs or and electrical appliances are not connected in series, they are connected in parallel. The reason is, number one, in series combination, so voltage divides, right? Therefore, the appliances will not get the rating voltage, that is 222 volt for domestic purposes. And another thing, if we switch off the one appliances, the all other appliances will switch off, right? Now, two batteries, one EMF 18 volt and internal resistance 2 ohm, and internal and the other of EMF 12 volt and internal resistance 1 ohm are connected as shown. The voltmeter V will record a reading of. Now, in the given circuit, so current in circuit. So, in a series combination, the EMF will add up. So, in a parallel combination, the EMF of identical cell is equal to EMF E, right? Therefore, the current I is equal to here 18 minus 12, the net EMF, and the total current, that is equal to 2 plus 1, that is equal to 6 by 3 is equal to 2 ampere. So, in parallel combination, potential difference across each one remains the same. So, voltmeter reading is equal to potential difference across 12 ohm resistance, right, is equal to, this is IR, potential difference across internal resistance, plus, right, this is 12, or V is equal to I, 2 into, right. So, the internal resistance is, right, 1 ohm, 2 into 1 plus 12 is equal to 14 volt, right. So, V is equal to 14 volt, right. The voltmeter reading shows it is equal to 14 volt. Now, the next question, temperature coefficient of resistivity of a material is 4 into 10 raised to the power of 4 per Kelvin. When the temperature of the material is increased by 50 degrees Celsius, its resistivity increases by 2 into 10 raised to the power of 8 ohm meter. The initial resistivity of the material in ohm meter is options 200 into 10 power minus 8, 50 into 10 power minus 8, 100 into 10 power minus 8 and 90 into 10 power minus 8. Now, in the question, so we have given the temperature coefficient of resistivity of material. Given temperature coefficient of resistivity of the material, that is alpha T, right, is equal to alpha T is equal to, right, now 4 into 10 raised to the power of minus 4 per Kelvin. So, when the temperature of the material is increased by 50 degrees Celsius, when the temperature is increased by 50 degrees Celsius, that is the change in temperature is 50 degree Celsius. So, its resistivity changes by delta rho is equal to, right, 2 into 10 raised to the power of minus 8 ohm meter, 2 into 10 power minus 8 ohm meter. So, we need to find the initial resistivity, right, rho is equal to 1, right. Now, we have the formula, temperature coefficient of resistance, right, resistivity is equal to change in resistivity delta rho by original resistivity into d theta. That means here rho is equal to, right, delta rho by alpha T into d theta. That is the delta rho 2 into 10 power minus 8 divided by alpha 4 into 10 power minus 4 into 50, right. So, that is equal to, right, 2 into 10 power minus 8, this is 200, that means 2 into 10 power minus 2, 100 get cancels with 10 power minus 2, or rho is equal to 2, this is 1, 10 power minus 2 male tagondodre, this becomes 100 into 10 power minus 8 ohm meter. So, the initial resistivity of the material of the wire is 100 into 10 power minus 8 ohm meter. Right. The next question, a 6-volt battery is connected to the terminals of a 3-meter long wire of uniform thickness and resistance 100 ohm. The difference of potential between 2 points on the wire separated by a distance of 50 centimeter will be 3 volt, 2 volt, 1 volt and 15 volt, right. These options are given. Right. Now the given question is, we have a 3-meter long wire AB. So length of AB is equal to 3 meter, that is equal to 300 centimeter. It is connected to a battery of 6 volt and ideal cell, no internal resistance. Now the potential difference across AB, that V is obviously equal to 6 volt. Right. Now we have 2 points, say P, Q, having the length L is equal to 50 centimeter. Now potential difference between these 2 points V dash is equal to what? We need to find it. Now, right, we have potential difference across a potentiometer wire. Potentiometer wire, right? So V is equal to, right, K into L, where K is a constant, or K is equal to V by L is a constant, right? Therefore, this K is equal to V by L, that is a 6 by, right, L length is equal to 300. So this is a 6 volt per centimeter. Now the potential difference across the points P and Q having a length 50 centimeter, that is V dash is equal to K into small l, that is K is equal to 6 by 300 volt per centimeter, right, into length, that is 50 centimeter. Centimeter get cancel. V dash is equal to, right, 6 into 5, 30, that is 30 by 30 is equal to 1 volt. So V dash, potential difference between the 2 points separated by distance of 50 centimeter, is 1 volt. Now the next question, in fact the last question, a uniform copper wire of length 3 meter and cross sectional area 2 into 10 power minus 7 meter square carries a current of 1 ampere. How long will an electron take to drift from one end of the wire to the other? Assume that there are 8 into 10 raised to the power of, right, 28 free electrons per meter cube in copper. So we have given a wire of length L is equal to 3 meter. Area of cross section A is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 meter square. Now a current of I is equal to 1 ampere is flowing through it. Now we need to find time t is equal to what? To drift from, right, one end of wire to other end. Say we have the wire AB, right, of length 3 meter, right. So a current I is flowing through the wire, right. Now the current is constituted by the drift velocity of electron in the opposite direction of applied field, and the current flows, conventional current flows in the direction of field. So if Vd is the drift velocity with which the free electrons are flowing through the wire, then the drift velocity is equal to the distance traveled from A to B, that is L by time taken, or time taken by the free electron to drift from B to A, it is L by Vd. Right. Now let us find Vd. We have current flowing through the conductor. I is equal to NEA Vd. Right, where N is a free electron density, E is charge of electron, A is area of cross section, Vd is drift velocity, and again free electron density is given 8 into 10 raised to the power of 28 right, per meter cube. Now from this equation we have Vd is equal to I by NEA, that is equal to 1 by N 8 into 10 power 28 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 into 2 into 10 power minus 7, or Vd is equal to 1 by, so we will take this is 8 into 2, 10 itkonಡ್ರೆ 1.6 into 1.6, 10 power 29 minus 19, 10 into 10 power right minus 10 power 3. So that is equal to 1.6 into 1.6, 2.54. 1 divided by 2.54 is 0.39 into 10 power minus 3 meter per second. Therefore, so time taken T is equal to L by Vd, that is equal to right 3 by 0.39 into 10 power right minus 3. So this 3, this is approximately 4 if we take, that is this becomes 30 by 4, that is 7 point something, that is equal to 7.68 into 10 raised to the power of 3 second. Therefore, the time taken T is equal to 7.68 into 10 power 3 second. Right. So that completes your 20 questions. Right. So anyway, thank you very much, and go through the right solutions carefully. Right.